Hello, my name is Mohammad Rahaman. I am an associate professor in the Sobey School of Business. My passion is to dig deep and explore and understand what is the interaction between Main Street and the Wall Streets, okay? Why people are so upset on the Main Street and people believe that, Wall Street is taking away their wealth. So this is kind of a driving force behind the research agenda that I have. That we have been seeing a lot of financial crises. We see banking crisis, and we see a lot of currency crisis. Countries are going bankrupt, and this problem became particularly worse when China joined the World Trade Organization in 2001, because they kind of flooded the Western European and the North American market with the cheap labor-intensive goods. If we do a sort of systematic and a deeper analysis, is the rise of China is to blame because of the trouble that we have? Or maybe there is a positive side of the rise of China. And that's when I wrote the paper. So the paper is titled as Chinese Import Competition and the Provisions for External Debt Financing in the US. It was published in Journal of International Business Studies in 2016, October 2016. And it was published as a lead article of this journal. And this is the #1 journal in the world in international business. If you are producing a product that China cannot compete, then you're immune from the external threats. On the other hand, if you are producing a product like garments, China can produce it at a very low cost. So they're going to flood Canadian markets, US markets, and if you're producing the same product as they are, you're going to go bust. But what I can do, I could innovate, okay? I could move from, let's say, producing parts for a bicycle and producing the parts for, let's say, an airplane, which is going to be very difficult for Chinese to replicate. Progressively, what I have been observing in the data, that the firm that used to produce the type of goods that Chinese are exporting to Canada and the United States, they are progressively moving towards more high-end products. My conclusion in the paper is that rise of China is actually good for Canadian firms and US firms. And if you want to generalize that finding, I would say globalization is good, because globalization is enabling us to get financing at a lower cost. And if we get financing at a lower cost, we could experiment with the new technologies, we could do more R&Ds, and we could be more innovative. And that's exactly what is happening. So as a manager in a global economy, and in an economy where like globalization, trade, and supply chain is a predominant trend, you have to understand how to innovate to respond to competition from low-wage countries, how to interact with your supplier, okay? Whether you should go for a relationship-based supply chain or you should go for an arm's-length supply chain. And whenever you do all these things right, your bank is going to notice. Your loan office is going to notice, and they're going to lower your cost of financing. Stock market is going to notice. They're going to lower your cost of financing, and as a result of that, your market value is going to go up.